Hello everybody, welcome. This is a new game. Not for me, but on the channel, I guess. I've only played Pokemon up till now. I'm also into this game, Honkai Star Rail. If you saw one of my lives, you saw that we were able to C6 this character. And I just figured we should run around in, MOC 12 and just see how it clears on both sides. So, yeah, so here we go. I have ran her in here on this team a little bit earlier just to see how it would go, and it seems like it might be pretty good. So let's go ahead and take a look at her here. Yeah, she does a lot of stuff here. So I have her E6, obviously. Here's her build in battle. It's not bad. I have 4 Poet and then Bone Collector. You can see here I'm at, it's 94.6 speed, so don't worry, I'm getting the full Poet set buff. You can see all that. Got her Light Cone S1 here. And I think that's pretty much everything. My day, he's E0 S1 as well. He's okay. His build isn't like perfect or anything. Gallagher's build is don't pay attention to Gallagher's build. I've been trying to work on this guy for a long time. I've not been very lucky. Tribby though is good. Tribby's very, very solid. I enjoy running Tribby a lot. She's E1, so her this E1 Tribby with S2 DDD. Sadly, I didn't get very lucky with getting these in my summons yesterday. This is like the engine for Castorice right now, as far as I can tell. The true damage buff on her ult is just ridiculous. And I'm running Poet set and Bone Collection on her as well. I'm running Bone Collection on him, and then I'm running the grass one that you put on Blade. I can't remember the name right now. And then I'm running Ducky and Sacrados. I'm running 2-2 for the speed buffs. I'm pretty sure that's everything. This is the most important character for Castorice, as far as I can tell. It's pretty ridiculous how much better Castorice is with her on the team than without. So let's go ahead and check this out. So I've obviously used my special, technique out of battle, which automatically summons the dragon, and we're just going to skill here. So it's going to take everybody's health. My day is going to automatically go into his state. And then, okay, so this is where the dragon comes out. So E2, you get 2 free breaths with no HP cost, right? So that's really, really good. Now E6, with the way that I'm running this team, we're just blowing up the dragon. I'm just going full, I'm not wasting any time at all. I want to build up this dragon as fast as possible. And it does a lot of damage. And that was without the true damage buff from Tribby here. So I've seen like win set Tribby with, oh man, I can't remember the name of that one either. I've seen some interesting stuff with Tribby to get her energy way up. Sprightly. It was Sprightly Winset Tribby. That's what I've seen. Running it just for like being fast, getting the ult up as fast as possible, because it does. This is not gonna kill. Hang on, because it does get her ult up a lot faster, and you can your uptime on. Your uptime for this true damage buff is going to be a lot higher, obviously. Let's see what happens here. So Maida's going to get his thing. Nice. Excuse me. Let's see. But I do like running Poet set Bone Collection. I just feel like that little bit of extra damage helps a lot more than it hurts. So if anything, I wish I just had DDD5. DDDS5 would have been huge, but I didn't get any copies, actually, from when I was C6ing Castorice. So, yeah, so you can see we're going to do a lot more damage here. Castorice does benefit quite a bit from having, multiple enemies to fight. So, yeah, I mean, she's doing a ridiculous amount of damage. It's kind of hard for me to, talk about, because she just blows up the field. I mean, there were calculations for this character. That put her, right at the top of, the damage threshold. I think she is the highest damage ceiling in the game. And I don't think it's close. If you're running her correctly. the only spoilers, but like there's no like limitless characters yet that have like basically an infinitely stacking damage. So I think for a long time she's going to be the highest damage dealing unit in the game, as you can tell. Like this is just like she takes no skill points. I constantly have the dragon up at E6 and it's over, right? So that's a 0 cycle. And yeah, this is my second team, if you can tell. I've been liking Aglaia a lot. Rumors have come out that Aglaia might be rerunning for E1, but because I need her E1 really badly. She might be rerunning soon, so hopefully that does happen. And I'm gonna cut right here. Okay, all right, we're back in Pure Fiction here. One thing about I was looking at like the Pridwin rating scale, and they have her tier 0 for Memory Chaos, and then tier 0.5 for both Pure Fiction and Apoc Shadow. Now the thing is, like, I mean, I'm using the character D6, so obviously this is not like an accurate representation of what they're scaling, right? They're scaling E0, S0 characters. But I just want to show you maybe sort of like what you're looking to get for out of Castorice. There's another playstyle that isn't really like, I guess, a good idea with her, especially at E6. I feel like the other playstyle is like just keeping Netherwing up as much as possible. So, I mean, I'm sure we all know how Castorice works right now, and I'm not going to try to over-explain it, but, we all know that, when you use a skill below a certain HP threshold, so like you see this little red part down here, right? If I use a skill in this area, the dragon's going to blow up. So like the idea is you use this like 3 times, and then you want a basic attack right there, which, okay, well, everybody died, so it didn't matter, but you're supposed to basic attack right there, because that, maybe that's like your thing, and keeping Netherwing up all the time is good if you have a problem losing health on your team. So, I mean, there's a reason I'm running, Maide and Tribby, because they both have a lot of health to lose, and Maide drains his own HP. Another great team to run, I mean, this is, this team's pretty high investment, I guess, but, running Blade, because you can lose your 50/50s to Blade now, which is awesome. Running Blade instead of Maide works perfectly. I mean, obviously, it works really well. I know, especially another big option for the Castorice team, because you can pick that 5-star now. Obviously, I think they knew who they were picking, but Luocha is a fantastic option instead of Gallagher. If you don't want to run Gallagher, or if Gallagher's preoccupied on another team, which is probably more likely, right? Because he's on every team in the game for some reason. But, I do think it is good that, you have a lot of options for Castorice team. A lot more than I thought. Especially, like, because I say, like, Luocha is a great option instead of Gallagher. Even right now. But especially after Luocha gets his, because they said they're going to buff characters starting in 3.4. And Blade and Gallagher are both getting buffs in 3.4. I think, probably because, Castorice doesn't really have a lot of fantastic options that are also recent, right? Because Luocha and Blade are pretty old. And I'm actually going to just do that. And actually, like, I haven't seen them rerun in a while. And I started playing around when Acheron came out. Right before that, actually. It was actually Black Swan. Was the first banner that I was playing with. But, yeah, like, that's kind of the thing. Like Castorice is going to have a lot of options. And especially a lot of options moving forward. Depending on how some of the leaks turn out. I won't spoil anything in this video, but... if the kit leaks are true, when it comes to some characters coming up, next patch, Castorice is going to be getting a lot of options, and she's not going to be short on teammates anytime soon. Especially, and like I mentioned, Luocha and Blade both getting buffed is like massive. for her and her team, because like right now, like running My Day, in my opinion, this is her best team. Now, it doesn't make her look the best technically, right? Technically, it'd be RMC instead of My Day, and probably that's it. Actually, I think just My Day switches out for RMC, and that's like how to make Castorice look the best herself. I mean, obviously this is E6, so there's a lot of shit happening on the screen right now. You know, the character's really good. You know, Gallagher gets buffed a lot at E6 too, because her E4 makes it so, you know, you get extra 20% extra healing, which is nice because, you know, my Gallagher doesn't heal a lot, so it's nice to get that. The True Sting is going to perish here, I believe. Yeah, okay, perfect. Yep. And so that's kind of how she performs in Pure Fiction. Is exactly like that, right? You get 40,000 points, and it's going to happen. Now, you know, E6S1. Now, we can talk about that a little bit. Let me get out of here real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and just swap right over to Apoc Shadow real quick. I'm gonna show her against the. Yeah, let's do the Banana Academic one. That should be fine. As you can see, I did clear this earlier with them, just so I can, you know, just so I can see how it works, and it works pretty well. I wanted to make sure that she was actually, like, the team was good and everything, and I didn't mess up. So we'll talk about Castorice and sort of what I would assume the best, like, priorities should be. It's a little difficult right now too, though, because I feel like if you don't have Tribby, it's really tough to talk about what you should get for Castorice, because I feel like Tribby opens up a lot of gates for her, especially I feel like almost in every game mode. The bad thing about Castorice right now, and this is why I'm assuming she's in, so she's tier 0, like I said in Pred 1 for MOC, and then tier 0.5 in Pure Fiction at Apoc Shadow. The reason I'm assuming that is because her team is so high cost right now that, like, it's not fair to compare her to, like, True Herta, because True Herta, you have like 2 free-to-play options on that team. You know, 2 4-stars, and they work really, really well on that team, and it helps her out a lot, you know. Everything works on that team. This team, you need Tribby, which just came out. Like, Tribby's banner just came out 2 banners ago. You know, so, you know, if you were saving in 3.1, you know, you didn't get Tribby or My Day, both of which are BIS on one of her teams, in my opinion. And Tribby at least is best in slot on her team no matter what. My Day is, you know, running this like dual DPS thing. I mean, there's no heal. I don't have to heal anything, but we'll do that. You know, like, I think dual DPS is her best team because you're doing so much damage. Just overall, like, the combo damage is ridiculous on this team. But if you want to run, like, you know, like a full sort of support thing, you know, running Gallagher, Gallagher, Tribby, and RMC instead of My Day, like I was saying, that could also be really good. But, you know, RMC is free. Gallagher is a 4-star, so you're kind of like, you're going to have at least one of him. But, you know, Tribby, man, like, I don't know when Tribby's going to rerun. Tribby's by far, I think, the best support on her team, and it's kind of annoying, I feel like, you know, especially if you didn't pull for Tribby because maybe you were, I don't know, waiting for 3.2 to end so you'd actually know, you know, what Castorice was doing and what she was about, right? But, you know, obviously the end of 3.2 was My Day instead of Tribby. And Tribby, though, I mean, a lot of people summon for Tribby. I was looking at the summon data. A lot of people summoned for her, but it looks like, you know, maybe you didn't. I don't know. Maybe you didn't summon for Tribby because you're trying to save for Castorice. Like, I'm not sure. Because I would say Castorice E0 is obviously your first step to building Castorice. After that, I would probably say get Tribby. If you don't have Tribby, I don't know how much of an investment it's worth. You'll probably find with Ranmei. Like Ranmei, especially because she's free, right next to Luocha, right? Like Ranmei can slot in for Tribi no problem. Your damage output's going to be a lot lower, obviously, but I do feel like it definitely is sufficient. So, it's not all doom and gloom, I suppose. I would just say, if Tribi reruns and you like Castorice and you like running Castorice, make sure you get that Tribi. Because she is really imperative for this team to work at 100% efficiency. And so yeah, like I said, I can't really stress enough how important it is to get that Tribi. After you have Tribi, let's say you have Tribi and Castorice already, I would say her S1 is probably worth way more than her E1, because her E1 is not up all the time. And really, it's not up a lot of the time at maximum efficiency. But it's at least active under 80%. And like I said, we're going to go over the Eidolons at the end. And there goes the banana academic guy. 7,300 score. Pretty good, I think. You can look at the 1761 action value. Pretty solid. So, yeah, obviously she's very good. Quick video, I guess. Quick little showcase of her skills and everything. What is this? Oh, yeah, I've been working on. Yeah, I'm a lazy guy. I'm a lazy guy. I haven't done like any of these, by the way. This may give some people like actual like paranoia, but I haven't done a lot of this. I am caught up to the story though, so we'll get there eventually. Let's go over Castorice real quick. So yeah, like her E1 here, you need the enemy to be at 80 or 50% HP before you do more damage with. This is every single thing related to the dragon. So the basic attack, the skill, and then the explosion at the very end are all they all get buffed pretty significantly, but it's not up all the time. So her S1 is going to be much better. It gives you 30% max HP, which is already huge. 30% defense ignore. That's huge again, and every time your memo sprite disappears, your action gets advanced by 12%. Action advance, in my opinion, is like one of the top 3 stats in the game, next to like true damage and then defense ignore. So that's really, really good. In terms of traces, I mean, all of them are going to be very important. I guess like the first one is this one. This one is really, really, really big. This is just because before you get this, is just damage that gets converted to new bud and not healing. And yeah, you need this one. I'm not gonna lie to you. This one's pretty good. You get the speed increase, so it's okay. This is what I would say it would be the second most important. So if you're gonna go anything, it's gonna be Contain Dark Tide, Where the West Wind Dwells, and then Inverted Torch are going to be your trace orders here. This one is very solid as well for damage increase, but this one you need to get Netherwing up at all, to say the least. Her E2 is really where she gets strong. So I'd say, like, if you have her S1, you have Tribi, get her E2. Her E2 gives you those 2 extra breaths that I was talking about. Without, you can all it stacks, and you don't take HP, so the dragon gets an extra 2 breaths per turn when you hit E2, in my opinion, because you can see here, whoops, can be, let me try to see, advanced Castorice action by 100%. When using the next enhanced skill, Castorice gains new bud by an amount equal to 30% of max new bud. This part right here, this E2 allows you to do the blow up the dragon as fast as possible strat. So you just use all your skills right away, blow up the dragon, and then start again. You just start stacking again for another dragon. Instead of keeping it around for a super long time where your damage output may not be as like up front. It's going to be pretty consistent, every turn, but it's not going to be, in your face like 1.8 million damage, like boom. Her E4, like I said, is not that great. It only increases HP restoration like, it's good for her. Obviously, it helps. But it's not good enough to invest 2 more copies of the character. So it's like kind of like if you get E2, the only other breakpoint you're going to want to hit is the E6. And the E6, in my opinion, is what makes her, not even just in my opinion, I guess statistically, this is what makes her the best damaging character in the game. The highest ceiling damage character in the game right here is this. Not even for the 20% res pen. It's, reduces enemies' toughness regardless of weakness type. When breaking weakness, it triggers quantum weakness. And then the bounce for the ultimate, this is when the dragon explodes. You get 3 more bounces, which is it's doing a lot more damage. It's the simplest way I can put it. Like I said, I'm assuming you guys know how Castorice works. Here are the Here are the relics that I have on her. So, obviously, running Bone Collection. At E6, I recommend, quantum damage boosting. This is a much better orb. Not just at E6 either. I guess at pretty much all levels. E2 especially. Quantum damage boost is going to be what you want in the orb, and then you're going to want somewhere near 7% HP percent. Now, this is obviously a pretty good orb. 24% crit damage and 7% HP. So this is kind of exactly what you want. Statistically, if you wanted the best piece, it'd be 7.7% HP. That's how you know it's 100% going to be better than a normal HP orb, which I'm assuming a lot of people are going to be running, which I don't blame you. If you're running an HP orb on her, that's just as good. But if you do have a quantum damage boost orb with 7.7% HP, statistically it's going to do more damage for you than the HP orb. But, it's not that big a difference. It's very minimal, actually. Just mid-maxing, I guess. For the rope, I have her HP rope, obviously. Ignore this. I have a lot of really unlucky speed rolls on some of her pieces here, including her boots. You run HP rope, HP boots 100%. That's what you want to run. I think crit damage body is her best fit. This is going to help her the most, in my opinion. Crit damage, I think it's just what you want to go for, because you're getting so much crit rate from Poet Set. It's not super important to have the crit rate body for how much you're kind of losing out on. This is obviously just crit damage, crit rate, HP percent. That's what you want. These are God hands that I got for her, so I'm happy about that. And then the head, you just like I said, crit damage is going to be your main substat, and HP percent. So crit damage, crit rate, HP percent. Those are the 3 things you want to find on these pieces. This one right here is a really, really solid piece as well. I should... I'm actually kind of looking at these pieces now. 23% crit damage. I'm losing 8% crit rate, though. I don't think that's worth it. Anyways, yeah. HP percent, crit rate, crit damage. I would say crit damage, then crit rate, then HP percent are going to be your substat orders. That's kind of what you want. And when you're done, you kind of want these. I wonder. I can't really check in game or in combat. You saw it earlier. You want this somewhere to be between 80 and 90%. And this one you want 200 plus. 220% I think is where you really want to be in combat. That helps a lot. But yeah, that's Castorice E6. She's really strong. As you can tell at E6, you're wiping everything off the face of the earth. I'll actually put a clip in here of me doing the simulated universe. I had a 24 million damage dealt stat line on my screen. I obviously had simulated universe, so it doesn't really matter, but it's very, very strong. Like I said, Tribby, I guess we can look at this. Tribby, I have Bone Collector, Poet Set, same one. E1, E0, Maide. And then, yeah, I have Linkshot on the team here because I'm only running this and thing. But, Gallagher's obviously E6. Ignore his traces and ignore these relics. They're not, fantastic or anything. He's very, very, he's very slow. I'm trying to get him to 170 speed. And I'm getting there, hopefully, soon. Maide, yeah, ignore his crit rate, by the way. But it's actually a lot higher than it seems. But what is this called? Disciple's prosthetic eye. This is the Disciple set. That's what I'm running for him. HP body, by the way, not crit damage body. I got pretty lucky with this one. And then Bone Collection. Yeah, so it's like, 3 people running Bone Collection on this team. And then presumably when the next 3.3 character comes out, they will not be running Bone Collection, but they will be running, which is going to be Castorice's best in slot healer. If the leaks are true, it's going to be this one right here, the Grove one. So this is in the same farming area as Bone Collection, which you're going to want speed as your substat and HP as your main stat, just so you know. Fair warning. So I'm going to be posting a lot more content about this game, I think, especially in the coming days here. I'm going to be recording me going through the story, and recording. Okay, what the heck? But I'm going to be recording me going through the story. I'm going to be recording me going through new Apoc Shadow when it drops in 5 days, I think, right? We're going to have 4 days and 13 hours actually. So I will be covering this game a lot more, I think. This is a game that I really enjoy, and one that I've had a lot of fun with. So if you like this content, just let me know. And yeah, I mean, you can go check out my summon streams, I guess. They're really lucky, man. I got really lucky on my summons. I ended up not having to use nearly as many tickets as I thought. I was super ecstatic. I told myself I wasn't going to get excited, but then, I got actually, so lucky. It was unbelievable. So I will leave that video here. Go check out my other stuff, like I said. It should be in the live tab if you want to see me summon, or my playlist. So just go check those out. Thank you very much.